Guys, we are in the middle of a screen team, and I'm being joined by Laura Butler for this next review. We're talking about the movie I Can Only Imagine. This is the true life story of Bart Millard, and Bart Millard is he's a famous guy.
Yeah.
He is a musician.
In some circles.
He's a musician, famous guy, and he's also a guy who's had kind of a rough childhood, and a guy who kind of lost his faith here and there, but also gained his faith here and there. We're going to talk about his story. Laura, we talked just a hint about his younger life, and his younger life was definitely a struggle. Why was that?
Well, his dad was, mean. I mean, he was mean.
Abusive.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. He basically made him feel like he couldn't do anything with himself, like that he wasn't worth anything at all. So he just kind of, as he got older into his teen years, he just kind of blew off everyone close to him for what he thought was what he wanted for himself.
Sure.
So he, as much as he did not like his dad, he took on a lot of his dad's characteristics due to the abuse
and that's gotta hurt.
Right.
Gotta
yeah.
hurt
I mean, that's what you feel the hardest, was when you see somebody that's been awful to you, and then you realize that you're being the same way to the people that you're involved with.
Sure.
And that's basically what his life became.
Yeah. And it was hard too, because his mom was part of the picture early on, and then she decided to say, you know what, I've had enough. You guys deal with it yourself, and she left. So basically he was with his dad by himself.
And he raised his dad, basically.
Yeah.
He had to take care of his dad, who, he was a mess.
Yeah.
It was a really bad mess.
Sure.
And it's what really struck a note with me in this movie is how that is so prevalent today. Like kids raising their parents instead of the other way around.
Luke is raising me every day.
But Luke is smart and
exactly.
sweet for the most part, but what I'm just saying, like, there's so many people that don't want to deal with their own problems or face what the problem is, and so their child essentially becomes the parent, because they have to take care of, make sure the bills are paid, make sure the light bill is done, make sure there's food in the house, but then that parent still expects that child to respect them in spite of the way that they're not dealing out the respect for themselves.
Yeah,
it's a sad situation.
And they had the father-son dynamic in this movie definitely had a lot of that. Bart is trying to find a lot of different things to make his dad happy, make himself happy, trying to find his way in life. He finds football, but early on he has an injury that just crushes his football dreams, and then he decides to go to church. He finds God a little bit, finds faith a little bit, and decides to get into music a little bit. He gets into music almost by accident.
Definitely by accident.
He had that football injury. He's looking for something else to do to get the credits, and what was it, drama, or was it?
Yeah, the only thing left basically was theater. Yeah.
So a teacher heard him sing by accident and was like, guess what? You're the lead.
Star of the play.
You're the star of the play. He's like, no, you don't understand. She's like, no, you don't understand.
Right. Either do this or you don't graduate.
Right. So we get past the high school and college years, and Bart goes into a rock and roll band and travels the road, right?
Yeah, but then, they do well, but they just cannot get over the cusp to get somebody to see them or to get somewhere where they're actually making a difference.
Yeah.
It's a Christian band that he's with, but
they play rock.
They do.
Okay.
They do. It's not like the old style Christian from 25 years ago. Nothing's wrong with that music. No, don't get me wrong, but
sure.
I think that Mercy Me was one of the bands that really broke Christian music into a circle that people
kind of like the mainstream, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. To where everyone, actually liked it instead of just a select group of people. Sure.
Someone did finally, I don't want to say discovered them, because Bart was bothering the heck out of this guy to come see him play. Scott Brickle.
Yes.
Who has local ties here to our neck of the woods. He found them and was like, you know what? You got something there, but you're just not there yet.
Right. And he couldn't believe it.
And that was hard to hear for Bart.
Well, it was because he was making it about himself.
Sure.
He whether the band made it or whether the band didn't make it, he felt like it was all on him.
Right.
Like if they had succeeded, I think he'd have taken the credit at that point. But because they didn't, he felt he was to blame. So he's
Sure.
like, well, then fine, I quit.
So he's having a tough time doing this band thing. He quit for a minute and he decided, you know what, I need to go find myself. So he goes back home, has an encounter with his dad, and his dad basically has kind of found God, has found his faith, and also he's found that his dad is going to be passing away very soon.
Yes.
He has, what was it, like pancreas cancer?
I believe so, yeah.
Something like that. And Bart is having a tough time because he's still angry at his dad. He's like, you know what, Dad? You don't get off this easy. You don't get to say, you know, I love you, everything is forgiven. That's not how things work. And as time goes on, they find that connection together. And one of them apologizes, the other one forgives, and he finally found his musical soul, I guess, or his musical
yes, he
voice.
finally
He found his musical voice after that.
Yeah, he I think that, I mean, being a Christian, a person of faith, you know, like a lot of us are, sometimes it takes the very, very hard things to bring out the best things that God has planned for us, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what you see in this movie. I think that in this movie, that's what they tried to portray, that he was beating his own head against the wall for years and years, trying to do it his own way.
Sure.
And once he finally gave it up and let God take care of it, then he got to...
That's so hard to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so hard to do.
It's in this world of everybody, you know, self-help books and independence.
Yeah.
You know, we pat the people on the back that are self-made, but in my opinion, if you're honest with yourself, you're really not.
Sure.
You know, everybody's got help from something.
So, Laura, do you like this film?
I did. There were some things in it I did not know. I did not know about the part at the end with Amy Grant. Mm-hmm. I did not. I mean, you'll watch the movie and you'll see the part, but I did not know that. This song means a lot to me personally. It was my grandmother's favorite song, and when she heard that song when it came out on the radio, she was like, that minute she heard, I want that played at my funeral. And of course, we played it at her funeral. So every time I hear it, I tear up.
Yeah.
But not just because I miss her, but because I know where she is.
Sure.
You know, the song talks about, I can only imagine when I get to heaven, is basically what it's saying. And she used to talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
And I admired her for that.
Yeah.
So that's, if you really listen to this movie, it can change your perspective on a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and it's you know, me with my cynical point of view and my movie review, kind of, you know, looking at things with a cynical eye. You know, I like the movie too. I really did. I'm not really a fan of a lot of faith-based movies because there's sometimes where they feel kind of cheesy to me.
Yeah.
But this one didn't feel that way to me. Mm-hmm. So. I like the acting. I like Dennis Quaid in it. I thought he did a great job. I like the young actor who played our main character as well. I thought he did an excellent job. And the movie felt real to me. So I enjoyed it as well. I definitely give it a recommendation. So does Laura. The movie's called I Can Only Imagine. Coming up, we got more reviews for you right here on the Screen Team.